having some morning time awarenesses in my bed. So welcome to day 18 of this Vision Quest journey. If you are following me on the app, then today's meditation concept is deep enjoyment. Deep enjoyment. I was deeply enjoying my bed this morning, so it made me contemplate whether I want to keep doing this live at this time. You know, like I could do it at a different time. I don't have to do it at this same time every day. But I made the commitment at the beginning to do it at this time. So I kind of felt like examining this idea of commitment a little bit today, and I'm going to pull some cards on that. Because what are the benefits of commitment? You know, like commitment is not always easy, and there definitely are benefits to committing yourself to projects, to relationships, to things like that. There's definitely going to be some difficult times if you commit, but you are committing to a stream of energy too. And so I'm just looking at what are the benefits of committing to a 7 a.m. live every morning in the winter while it's dark till my birthday. Like, don't I want to deeply enjoy my mornings in bed? One question. And do I deeply enjoy getting up and doing it at this time when I haven't showered? And I mean, it's fine, but I often go back to bed for a little bit, or I just start my day depending on how I feel. But the darker it gets, the more I tend to go back to bed for a minute and then get up. Like when it was lighter, I would stay up. And I'm living like a lot closer to the equator than I have before, at least since I've been in India. And the sun shifted so much in my yard that I really don't get a lot of sunrise action. The sun used to come right through my window and onto my bed. And now it doesn't. It's not right till after 7 when it comes up. So let's pull some cards. And maybe this is for you too. Maybe you're struggling with something excuse me, that you are committed to, but maybe you're questioning that commitment, or you are re-examining it, especially under the light of this concept, deep enjoyment. You know, like when we deeply can enjoy something, we can access gratitude, which is a levitating attitude, which I spoke about in one of the other lives. But if we're just like, okay, I'll do it because I'm committed and I just don't want to like be a loser or not commit or like break my commitment or that kind of thing, then it doesn't draw the same deep enjoyment from life. It brings you to a have to and a should, which is, you know, where a lot of people stay in relationships just for the commitment, and they've lost the deep enjoyment. And I'm not saying relationships are always enjoyable. I mean, there's hard work in relationships, and you definitely shouldn't just leave a relationship because it's gotten hard. Difficulty is different, though, than monotony. Okay, there's 2 cards. Oh, interesting. Wow, they're both major arcana. So, the Wheel of Fortune. We are entering fortunate times, fortunately. It's so great. Good luck. Fortune is on our side. Blessings. I almost want to cry. This is actually Jupiter resonant card. And then the Chariot. This is actually very Sagittarius Jupiter energy. The Chariot is on the journey. I really am going to cry. think I'm going to switch the lives to like noon. Like switching to and then I can just get up if I want to, right? If it feels good, and I don't have to if I don't want to, and it's not going to affect you guys because at this point, not very many of you are watching this live. Maybe that will change one day. But this has been more about to myself and making a change, and you know, if it's not giving you the spark, like I am loving getting up and doing these lives just as like keeping myself on track, and also doing this 40-day and chanting every day with my kids, but that's something that I already have committed to doing before this. But I'm also creating another journey that people can do at other times. If you want to jump on the app, you can do this 40-day journey starting today. You know, you don't have to start it when I started it. And a 40-day journey is very powerful. It is very powerful, and it's activating, like it's spiritually activating to commit to that many days, okay? The chariot is not only an outward journey, but it can be an inward journey, but it's also success, and it's got the sun there, it's got a sword there. Oh, I really need to get a Kleenex. One sec. Oh, child. I really got something to say about runny noses for a minute. And that is, with this whole thing going on in the world right now, with this, you know, corona period that we're in, if you don't feel good, just freaking stay home. Like, just stay home. You know, if everybody would just stop getting tested and just take care of themselves, this thing would just be over. But people are just like, oh my gosh, I must have it, I gotta go get tested. And then it's like, we're repeating, we're just like in this insane cycle. It's just completely ridiculous. Like, if you don't feel good, you're not gonna die in your bed from a sniffle. Like, you take some garlic, take some ginger, take some, like, eat some onions, eat some really good local raw honey and bee pollen. And you know what? Everyone in this time that we're in has got to go through a detox of some kind. So if you haven't had a sickness or whatever recently, like, it's not a bad thing. I'm not saying, like, first of all, this catalyst for change on the planet, and I'm going to call it that because viruses, if it really is a virus, are upgrades to our system. So whatever's going on the planet right now, whether catalyzed by a human or not, is upgrading our operating system. Okay, it's upgrading it. It's creating the bump, the impetus for us to have the upgrade. Let's say your computer gets a virus, like the activation of its immune system, the protection or whatever, it doesn't happen until the thing. So it activates the thing. Now on a computer it may not matter, but for us, our immune system is also part of our evolutionary capacity, because we're seeking out what's not us anymore in our body, or what's not us at all, what's an invader, and we are like getting rid of it. You know, like, we do get rid of stuff that was us that's not us, because it seems to have mutated, or we have. Like, we're going through an evolution, so that cell or that brain synapse that carried that pattern is no longer necessary. So when we have sicknesses, or we like get runny noses, or we get a fever, or we get chills, like, our body is effectively working. It is effectively going after something and creating a new circumstance. It is a fever will burn out bacterias and viruses and things. It will help your body recalibrate itself. It will also lay your ass down so you don't go doing stuff when you don't feel good. You know, like I know our society before all of this was not like great on supporting people and having like a sick day. A sick day really just meant you were like, you had like one or two. So people were going to work and stuff sick all the time because we're so quick paced and fast paced that we just didn't even allow for people to be sick before. But now we have to. Like we have to acknowledge that sometimes sloughing off the old, which is a yucky, gross process, it's a death process. Sometimes we gotta do it, and we just have to lay in our bed and drink water and drink tea and moan and cry and stay away from other people while we shed. You know, and if others don't mind being around you, that's also because either they're strong in themselves and they're not worried, or, you know, like some people know that if they need to shed, they'll go ahead and go through the process and they're willing to. Like, I'm not afraid to be around anybody that's sick because I know what's going on with them. I know they're going through a shedding, and if I absolutely need to, and seeing them go through this and exposing myself to their frequency is going to tell my body, hey, we need to do that too, then I'm okay with that because I trust the wisdom of my body. And maybe that's also what I'm saying with changing the time of the live. Like I am going to change the time of the live, and I'm going to change it to noon. I'll change it to noon Pacific time, so that'll be 1 o'clock where I'm at. I'm going to do that because, number one, I can. Number two, I think part of my hesitation in the morning is that I feel like I might really need the sleep. I find that if I'm taking myself out, maybe it's just not healthy, especially if I'm feeling like a little sniffly. Like I might just need to sleep, and I homeschool my kids, so I just can start when I get up. And I think it's good. And part of the reason I don't like the institutions is their demand on our body's schedule that you must do it at this certain time every day, because it does kind of break you down a bit if you don't honor your own personal cycles and your own personal needs. So part of the journey and the success of the journey is a warrior understands their limits. A warrior understands, yes, when you should push through your limits and they're just discomforts, or when they're really limits. Like, yes, he wears armor because he doesn't want to be penetrated by sharp objects. You know, like there's a shield for a reason. Like there's protection, there's by a warrior, and he has a power totem vision to be able to see. So stepping into our power more today, because realizing, okay, we've gone through a season, we've gone through this time on earth where it's been going a certain way and our life's been going a certain way. Maybe it's felt like the upside down Wheel of Fortune where it's changing, but we don't really like how it's changing, or we're resisting the change. And maybe it hasn't felt so lucky, but you know, I feel and I know, and I am very, very moved by getting these two cards today, because I feel like the universe is saying the wheels are turning. Like we are in the time of moving energy forward. Sagittarius is a visionary, is a revealer of truth, is a seeker, is a truth bringer, and we have a powerful, powerful solar eclipse coming in just a few days, about a week, maybe 6 days on the 4th. If you're watching this during the time I recorded it at all. And so like all of us are these spiritual warriors on this journey, and we have finally made it to this point in the journey where the wheels are turning. And this really is a portal, and this can also represent solstice energy, but this is the beginning point. This eclipse is opening us into it, and we're in the green room right now, but actually the universe is saying it actually is already open. Like that portal is open. You might not become as consciously aware of it until that day when your sights are placed on it, but it is open. And you are a success if you just keep walking forward knowing that the luck has turned, the wheel has turned. And yeah, I feel the wave in the earth too, on the planet. I'm seeing everyone uprising around the planet, and people are saying, why is that not happening in the US very much? And it is happening in some cities, but I think it's just because we're so big. And I would think the bigger cities would be doing it more. I'm in a really small town, and there's a lot of people in small cities around. And I guess it just feels like everyone's so far away from each other. And so we're all just cozying into what my friend that I just met here calls her bubble of happiness. Wow. I just got 2 really good runes too. I think things are feeling really good today. Burkano is the sanctuary, but it is also the birth. It's also like the womb, the preparation for the birth. The sanctuary that feels safe. It's like the mother's womb, and it's like the mother. And Daggaz is always a positive rune, always a positive rune. It is like a bold change, but it's also the coming together of perfect opposites. It's that perfect alchemical formula, like the time glass set on its side, and now it's the infinity loop, which is the eternal now. Like we are birthing in a very big way this month, the Sagittarius time. We're punching through. We're punching through. I have this, I'm just having so much emotion coming in right now. This 40 days for me is really to uncover like what the fuck I'm doing with my life. Like I've been supporting people and coaching people in their empowerment and their health since I was 19, and I'm turning 48. So I've been madly building this app, this Bliss Me app, which you can download in the App Store under the Passion.io education app. Eventually it will have its own icon, but it's not approved for the App Store yet because I just keep adding things to it. Anyway, I have been adding like all my life's work, everything that I have studied in my life, yoga, meditation, tantra. I'm loading acupressure tips and New Age shamanism and just poetry and light language and all kinds of things, plus my own creations, verbal remedies. And anyway, I've been madly doing this, and moved to Arizona kind of to give myself the time space to do it, and also to heal some family karmic stuff, some old stuff with baby daddy and let's say a baby daddy, because I have to, and his family, you know, for my son to be closer to them and all of that. So it's been a little taxing emotionally as well. I'm just spilling the beans today about my life. And then I am also like really realized that I have deep, deep love for this man who we've been seeing each other off and on for 3.5 years, but not exclusively. And he's gone sailing for the duration of the rest of this year and maybe longer. And like it's one of those things where it's deeply heartbreaking to just let it go right now, and just, if it's supposed to be again, it will be, like it has resurfaced many times. And if that was the final showdown between us the last time I saw him, then I just inherited all beautiful things that remind me of him. And so I'm sort of like relaxing into that surrender, which is a little painful. But I'm also like putting myself out there to meet new people, and I'm like, like I really like to meet more like-minded people, and like I love the work that I'm doing, and I feel like I haven't really done it to the degree that I'm capable of. Like I'm a big group speaker. Like I love to stand in front of big groups. I love to work with people individually too, but I really love to talk to big groups of people. Like I'm cut out for it. I don't have a problem doing it. I like being in front of people. I like commanding attention and saying something really important to a lot of people and getting a lot of people connected together. I do cardology readings thanks to a dear friend, Beverly Clinton, who I adore and who lives in Florida. Lucky girl. I have to visit you sometime. I haven't talked to her in many years, but she turned me on to cardology. And I'm a 10 of Hearts, which is lover of people and big groups and all that. And it's true. And so I feel like I've been a bit too small in my life. Like I've done workshops and classes before, but I don't know, I've had some kind of block around marketing, but I just never really marketed myself. It's always just happened. If I'm supposed to do something, it's happened. My clients have happened, and word of mouth's happened, or whatever. And but like, I would love nothing more to talk to a huge group of people about waking up to the truth of who you are, to your life force energy, to your sexual energy, and the idea of Tantra, which is the ability to be liberated through anything that happens in life, including and especially the most terrible things happening. And that awareness that I have, and I feel like I felt that way even before I went to India, but learning that's what Tantra means. Tantra is not just a sexual term, it really means liberation of the mind. It's the ability for your mind to think a liberated thought about anything, to see anything as an empowering element and a catalyst for reconnecting with God Source. I'm gonna drink lots of water down here. So I'd love nothing more than to have that conversation, because I feel like there's nothing more the world needs right now than to have a big conversation about their own empowerment and how powerful you are, how powerful your consciousness is, and to rally people into that. And I feel like at some point that will happen. I'm like, when? Like I'm waiting for it, and whenever I've tried to create that, it just hasn't happened. So I'm like, okay, I'm just getting behind the energy then, and like whenever it's supposed to occur, I'll just be pushed right into that. But we're at a critical phase, guys, on planet Earth. Like, I really like to see people throwing off the old ideas and really recognizing we're in the Wheel of Fortune. A lot of people are recognizing that, which is another beautiful thing, and sometimes a confusing thing for me, because I've been doing this work since 1999 or 1998. That's a long time. Okay, more than 20 years. Part of me just tired. I'm like, oh, let's get on with it already. Like, yes, we have to purge humanity. Yes, we have to have a stinky diaper fit. Yes, it has to look like all is lost. Like, that is part of the hero's journey, is thinking all is lost. Like, it happens in every birth. Every birth, you have to go to the point of no return, and you just have to feel like you would fucking die in that moment. And it would be okay. Because you have given it everything you have. And it's the point of no return. And I guess the question is, humanity, have we given it all we have? You know, like for me, I'm like, I got nothing left right now. Like right now, it's all I can do to take care of myself and make myself in the best possible space and my kids in the best possible space. And if we're healthy and connected to our consciousness, then that is going to help humanity. And it's the same thing with you. If you are feeling healthy or you're honoring your process, like I really, when I'm done with this talk, I'm going to get back in bed and honor my runny nose. You know, like I'm not doing anybody any harm laying in bed with a runny nose. Like none of us are. We should take that time. We should let ourselves do that. If our kids aren't feeling good or one person in the house isn't feeling good, keep them home. Be home. Honor what their body is detoxing from this planetary shift. Not to keep going to school. Like your kids are being indoctrinated into things that they're going to have to shed later anyway. And just to have a place for them to go during the day so you can work, hey, I get it. I'm a mom, like I freaking get it. Sometimes I want a place for my kids to go, but you know what? They're my kids, and I have them until they're on their own, and I've learned to really honor that I'm a mother, and I'm mostly a single mother, you know, with their dads. One is far, and we've spent a lot of his life with him and around him, and one is here now, and I'm doing my best to just be a mom with them and like honor their life. And kids grow so fast, you know. You send them to school and you just don't even know what's going on with them. You don't even know what's going on with them. And from what I remember from school, kids are mean. They tell you things that aren't right, aren't true. Yeah, there's some benefits, of course. There's some benefits to knowing how to be social, and the art stuff is really good. The music stuff is good. And like having to like create things together with other people is really good. There's a lot of negative elements too. And I feel that about home also. There's really positive things, you know, like, and really challenging things. So anyway, I didn't pull the crystal card yet. This is a long one today. Wow, this is the same one that we got the very first day. Appetite, acceptance. I think that goes very well with the Wheel of Fortune, is to be gratefully accepting of whatever is and what has been, and then just make a new choice today. Like we're on a journey that's birthing anew anyway. Like how you want to do it. How are you going to deeply enjoy this journey to the solstice? Is it by watching this live every day? Is it by doing something on your own? For me, is it getting up at 7 and still being half asleep when I sit down here and seeing what comes out? Well, I do like that. I do like it when I'm really in it. But I can do that at any time of day. I am fresh out of dreaming right now, which is an interesting element to add to this. Okay, is there anything else, Spirit, that wants to come through today from any of these cards, or from the recesses of me or the portal of me? I guess I just want to say enjoy yourself today. Like really enjoy yourself. Really enjoy yourself in your life and in your stuff. Like whatever you've brought into your life, like enjoy it. And if it's not enjoyable, like get rid of it. Deep contemplation of what you enjoy in this journey. Okay, I think that's my train. So we're going to wrap it up. Om Shanti, Namaste, Aho, Amen. Love you. I do love you. And you're doing great. No matter what, it's a new moment. And you've made it up to now. You're here. You're doing great. You're doing awesome, and keep going. And my hope and dream is just to provide tools to make it easier, that's all. And if they don't, then don't bother. But you should never do just everything that someone tells you to do. So even if you're on my app and you don't want to do every single part of it, don't. Just putting it there so that you have access to it, because it helped me a whole lot. So part of me doesn't want to get off. Like I'm just wanting to witness with you this moment. Is it boring just sitting here? I mean, you can always jump off, right? I'm just contemplating how to best support you. And I guess that's by best supporting me. And so I'm going to go eat something because my stomach is rumbling. Yeah, I'm going to go find something to enjoy. Hope you enjoy this day, and we'll see you tomorrow at 12 o'clock p.m. Pacific time.